Hello everyone. Today, we are going to see how these pesky robbers failed oh so miserably.
Suspected robbers caught after a bodega owner trapped them inside with metal doors.
From getting kicked, fogged, and sprayed to getting thwarted by smart owners and cops, you'll be left admiring the karma that hit them out of nowhere. So, sit back and let's get into it. Number 1. The beer thieves. The shopkeeper saw the crook leaving with the crate of beer. He didn't shy away from bulldozing straight into the thief. His robber buddy hadn't even stepped inside and was already out the door. Bystanders joined in on the action and threw the other crook out of the door without the beer. The crooks showed their anger by smashing the glass door. No one's sorry. Number 3. The dramatic fail. A couple raided the store only to be ambushed by the cops. So, they did what any cornered robber would do, try to escape. The problem was that they sucked at it. The guy started running crazily around the store, but where could he have possibly gone? It took the cops only a few seconds to bring him down. The woman saw her partner's fate and thought to take the dramatic route through the vents. She crawled her way inside, only for the ceiling to give in and fall, throwing her straight into the shelves. The cops had no clue where she was before. Number 4. Surprise, surprise. These boneheads went through all the effort to slip into the store, but they didn't even last a second inside. The fog ambushed the thieves, blinding the two eager ones at the back. The trio quickly tried to make their way out and crept out of the tiny gap, not looking back. Number 5. Crook Freaks Out. This guy was busy stealing from the store and didn't realize that the store owner had trapped him inside. The robber went berserk inside, begging and pleading as if he wasn't stealing a minute ago. The robber eventually smashed his way out the door, but he left without his loot. Number 6. The runner. The off-duty cop thought that this guy looked suspicious. His hunch was right. He had just run from a store with a lot of loot, and the scared lad thought he would sprint into a run again. But he wasn't going anywhere. The cop chased after him and tackled him to the ground. Number 7. Meeting with the cops.
Suspected robbers caught after a bodega owner trapped them inside with metal doors.
A couple of crooks had sneaked into a store. The clerk tried to wrestle them out, but the owner was one step ahead of him. He closed the shutters and locked the crooks in with his clerk inside. The robbers got all panicky, and seeing the cops outside didn't help their nerves much. The officers took them in and rescued the worker. Number 8. The teenagers tackle. A cop was spotted chasing after the robber. The pesky thief kept slipping away and was running out of the exit. The cop lunged towards him, sending the thief darting to the aisles. A football player saw the whole scene and decided to jump in. Quite literally. The robber was thrown to the ground, and the cops promptly arrested him. Number 9. Locked inside. This guy walked in, and the store owner knew enough to know he was a robber. He wasted no time in locking the pesky robber inside the store. The bonehead was spotted shopping in different aisles even after he was locked. He knew he was done for and might as well shop away. As soon as he forced his way outside, the cops were waiting to greet him. Number 10. The unusual battle. These buffoons were prepared for battle, but their metal pipes stood no chance against the owner's red chair. He single-handedly managed to keep them at bay. When that didn't work, he pushed the magic button, and the fog handled the rest for him. Number 11. Hammer versus chair. Who knew chairs were the only tools you needed? This guy with a hammer barged into a jewelry store, but his opponents weren't just gawking spectators. No, they had a plan, and were putting it into action. The brave crew sent the crook running without a single penny. All they had to use were a couple of chairs. Number 12. Interrupted by the police. This crook probably has the worst luck ever trailing behind him. He was standing at the counter during his robbery when a cop entered the scene. The store owner alerted the cop, and that was it for the pesky crook. Number 13. The foiled smash and grab. Would you look at them? Yeah, they didn't crack a single shelf. The only damage they did was to their egos. Number 14. The girl who didn't give up. This woman was busy at work when a robber slipped past the door. As soon as he lunged at the girl, she hopped over the table. The robber tried hard to get to her, but the woman managed to wiggle free. Number 15. The Marine recruiters. A guy in black was spotted in a smash and grab robbery. These men saw the crook leaving and ambushed him. The next thing you know, they have the crook surrounded and on the ground. Number 16. Pole action. This guy was in the middle of the store, trying to threaten the crowd. It worked well for him, but only for a few seconds. A bystander picked up a pole and smacked it on the head of the crook. He came falling down, along with his bruised ego. Number 17 scattered them away. This group marched into the store and wasted no time hopping counters, but their genius plan didn't account for the gutsy staff. The owner sent the duo jumping out of the counter, but the clerk also wanted in on the action. So, he body slammed the crook into the fridge. The robber struggled to break free and stumbled out of the exit before another clerk could show his power moves to him. Number 18. The hard swing. A robber was trying to march up to the counter to steal, but his feeble attempts were thwarted by the security guard and his helmet. He swung it at the robber, sending him darting out of the exit. Number 19. The running shoplifters. The two shoplifters were spotted carrying big bags of loot. One quickly scurried out, but the other wasn't very lucky. A sharp customer stood like a wall in the crook's path, sending her to a different exit route. Number 20. The Showdown. A guy with a sledgehammer thought he had all he needed to rob the store, but he didn't consider the three bystanders who would drop everything to bring him down. The skinny guy can surely throw some punches, that's for sure. The trio managed to hold him at bay until the cops came to take him away. Number 21. The knife fight. Do you think this guy has the upper hand? That's probably what he thought too. But that was only until the store owner hadn't pulled open the drawer. The two pretended that they had fake knives in their hands as they grappled with one another. The crook didn't expect to have a fight. He was recorded leaving shortly after. Number 22. The Karen Thief. This lady was only pretending to shop, but it wasn't the store owner's first time handling thieves. He simply locked the door, forcing the lady to come back and do the walk of shame. The crook tried to turn the tables on the poor man, claiming that he was charging her more. Her mother dropped by, but Karen's theatrics didn't stop. Soon enough, the duo left. Number 24. Blocked out. A few robbers had slipped into the store, but there was no fooling this store owner. He crept out of the exit and closed the gate behind him. A few more people joined in, and they all dropped the shutter over the gate, trapping them into their own worst nightmare. Number 25. The smoke alarm. A group of robbers walked up to the counter and started terrorizing the customers. They thought they were getting away with it, but a sneaky clerk had hit the magic button. Out came the fog, and the robbers scrambled away in panic. Number 26. I'm out of here. The clerk didn't want to waste a second at the store when the crook came barreling in through the gate. He hopped over the counter and fled, surprising even the robber. His feeble attempt at robbery only earned him a few dollars. Number 27, the smart shopkeeper. The guy in the hoodie hopped up on the counter to attack the shopkeeper, but the big guy was levels ahead of him. He snatched the knife from the robber and shoved him. The crook jumped back to the floor to hurl empty threats at the owner. He knew it was useless. The crook walked out of there, robbed of his weapon and probably his ego too. Number 28, the idiot crook. Would you look at that pile? Did he come to steal or to shop? The guy went for the exit and found it locked. So he smashed and smashed at the door, hoping it would break through, but the owner was way ahead of this guy. He silently took his loot back to the shelves, hoping that would solve everything. But the crook still remained trapped inside. After a long while, he broke free, but it didn't come easily. Number 29. The bumbling buffoons. A couple of guys were trying to terrorize the customers at the bar, but the bar owner wasn't any meek opponent. As soon as the crook turned around, he slammed a bar stool on his face and bolted. That single hit was enough to send the duo crawling out of the door, toppling over one another. Number 30. Out with the spray. This store clerk had been waiting all her life for this moment. When the crook got up to the counter and threatened the clerk, she pulled out the wasp spray and didn't hold back from using it. The robber didn't glance back and was out the door within seconds. Number 31. Allo to the crook. The crook brought a machete and the store owner brought out a plant. As you can see, there is a clear winner here. Number 32. Yeah, I can take him. This guy thought of caving in when a crook raided the store, but then he glanced at the robber, probably thinking that he could take him. He wasn't wrong though. The robber was down in a couple of seconds. Number 33. The Chile Attack. A couple of robbers entered an empty store and went straight for the clerk, but he had no plans of backing out. The man started fighting with the crooks, slamming them against shelves and throwing punches. But the robbers were stubborn, running around for things to steal. When they got up to the counter, the owner was ready. He pulled out the chili powder and sent it straight in those pesky faces. After that, it didn't take long for them to leave. Number 34. All that it took. A masked man barreled through the gates of the store and started terrorizing the store owner. He didn't do much. He just lied about having called the cops. That's all the bad news the crook wanted to hear, and he was out of there without a single penny in his bag. Number 35. The group fight. This guy had no idea what was coming for him when he demanded money at this store. The bystanders were not ordinary spectators. They sprang into action and pulled out their best moves to bring this crook down. Number 36. The Spring Breakers. This gang was busy chatting at the gas station when a robber ambushed them. But the poor bloke was no match for these men. They stomped, kicked, punched, and slammed, showing no fear. Another robber came running to save his buddy, but he got trampled into the mess too. The duo scurried out of there as soon as they got the chance. Number 37. The boxing match. As luck would have it, the crook entered the same store where a boxing champion came to shop. You can imagine what happened next. The bell rang, but the boxer didn't stop. Number 38. The Gutsy Customer. The customer and the owner were busy chatting when a masked man butted into their conversation. The crook started terrorizing the owner. So the woman stepped up. She resorted to a physical fight against the stubborn crook when her words didn't work. He tried to shove her off, but the woman's gutsy attitude threw him off guard. He left shortly after. Number 39. Third time's the charm. The guy in the orange jacket had stolen from the store 3 times. So, when he dropped by Again, he received a warm welcome from the store owner. Number 40. The customer that waltzed in. A man popped into the store and sneakily crept up behind the store clerk. He ordered her to the back of the room and fished for loot at the counter. But this bonehead had no clue a customer was standing right outside. She walked in to find the robber busy stealing some cash. He got all panicky seeing the stranger at the door and quickly scurried out of the exit. The woman then went on to help and rescue the store clerk. Number 41. Loot, no loot. These guys came all prepared to wipe the store clean. No customers, no clerks. It was the perfect time to steal, right? Except that there was nothing to steal. That must be embarrassing. Number 42. The lurking thief. Blending in nicely with the afternoon rush, this guy sneaked up near the cashier and started demanding money. Nobody paid any heed to him except this brave customer. He knew what was going on and wasn't planning on staying quiet. The customer dragged him all the way to the other side and threw him into the shelves. The fumbling crook was thrown to the ground, and the passers-by watched him like an animal in a zoo. Number 43. And stay out. A crook waltzed into a store and marched up to the counter. He had no clue that this store had a secret weapon hidden in the back. The clerk grabbed the crook by his neck in one swing and threw the robber out of the store. Wow, that's embarrassing. Number 44. The eyewear heist. These goons had been coming in to steal from this store quite a few times, so the clerks were in no mood to entertain them when they waltzed in through the doors today. With a bit of help from the customers, one of the robbers was tackled to the ground into a swift citizen arrest. Number 46. Gone with the wind. This guy had a dance in his steps as he walked away with the loot, but nature had a dose of karma to serve him. Number 47. The Royal Rumble. This goon casually showed up at the office and pulled out a weapon. The business owner was not happy with the upfront audacity, so he started wrestling for the weapon. The two were at it for a couple of minutes until the crooks sprinted out of the exit. That guy really came to get a video recorded of him getting beaten. Number 48. The Clumsy Thief. This guy did everything right, but there wasn't room for another main character in this story. The waxed floor covered that part. The Clumsy Thief fell face first onto the floor and simply gave up on the heist. He thought this was as embarrassing as it could get. But just wait. Yep, there it is. The crook falls again on his way out. Serves him right. Number 49. The legendary defense. These guys came to rob the store, but couldn't even get past the door. The store owner had pulled out the magic defense, a flamethrower. The two crooks didn't stand a chance, standing there with dumbstruck faces. The owner was long gone when they finally got the sweet time to steal. Number 50. The fighter. A man came up to the counter pretending to buy. The robber slipped in through the gap when the old man got distracted. The old man was challenging fools, though. He sprang into action and shoved the robber all the way to the back. The robber knew it was over for him. He hopped out of the window and bolted. Number 51. Iron Man. A crook had sneaked into a pharmacy to steal. On his way out, this 70-year-old stood like a towering wall in front of the exit. With a simple power move, the crook was down on the floor. Number 52. Sorry, what? Imagine coming to steal, and the guy in front of you has no idea that's what you want. This crook tried to act secretive, and it cost him big time. The clerk didn't speak English and couldn't understand what the crook wanted. After a few seconds of this embarrassing-to-watch attempt, the crook walked out. Number 53, the bird thief. This guy waltzed into the store and went straight for the bird. The poor animal didn't even fight, but its owner immediately sprang into action. He sprinted towards the thief and tackled him to the ground. The bird slipped away, but the crook was going nowhere. The store owner dragged the thief outside and started smacking him. Number 54. A couple of goons. Two crooks entered the store, only to lose their fighting stance in front of the big guy. He single-handedly kept the two at bay and then raced out of the store. Quick on his feet, the store owner locked the door and trapped the duo inside. They got all panicky and threw things around, but the owner managed to slow them down until the cops arrived to take the trash out. Number 55. The baseball bat. A masked man barged into the store, threatening the owner. He probably thought, two can play this game. The store owner pulled out his baseball bat, while the crook looked for cash to steal. He didn't even have to swing it at the robber, and he was off. And that, my friends, was when he knew he had messed up. That's all, folks. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and hit subscribe. Let us know which one of these was your favorite in the comments down below. Until next time, thanks for watching. Goodbye.